Good morning, dear Stitchers. Welcome and thank you for visiting my channel. If this is the first time that you've been here, I am Judy Whitman with JBW Designs, and I am so excited because I have reached, with your help, 1,000 subscribers. And I had a lot of help also from a lot of other friends. I will tell you that I just had a major glitch. I was about halfway through my video and I did something and it was gone. So I am starting all over again and maybe it'll be better this time, who knows. So I want to acknowledge several of the other FlossTube people who have really helped to my channel to grow. And the people that I want to acknowledge are Annie from the Proper Stitcher, Artie from the Vintage Stitcher, I'm thinking here, Pam and Stephanie from Just Keep Stitching, and Chris from Chris Cross Stitch. I will link their names below when I put in all the information from the video. They've been just wonderful. They've talked about the video and sent people my way, so it's been just great. I just can't believe that I've reached this point. I do have a funny story to tell you about recording videos, and that is, I never thought I'd do this. So the first video I recorded was actually for a trade show, and it wasn't that hard. My assistant Dawn helped me with it, and I thought, oh, I could probably do FlossTube videos. But the funny thing was, I had never watched them, and I can't tell you exactly why. I think I was overwhelmed by the number of people who were recording them, and I didn't even know who to start with. So I actually, before I recorded my first official FlossTube video, I watched two different people. I watched a designer and a shop owner to kind of see how they set it up. But now I have fallen down the rabbit hole, and I watch all the time while I'm stitching, and what I realize is that you have so many choices, and that makes me even more grateful that you've taken the time to watch mine. I want to tell you a couple stories about from the last video in response to it. First of all, we gathered with our whole family on the 4th of July, which was great. And what was amazing is that the grandchildren all wanted to talk about my video. And they had suggestions and ideas on how to improve it. It was really so sweet. I think it's quite amazing that they take such an interest in this. They're probably shocked that their Nana is actually recording YouTube videos, but they couldn't be more interested in helping me. Definitely with editing, which is something that I have not conquered yet. The other fun comment that we all talked about that day was that one of the first comments that came in after the last video was from a gal named Tweety, I think, Tweety, something like that. And she has a parrot named Tweety who is watching me. And this is a first. I never knew that in addition to humans that I might have parrots or other animals watching. She said he actually tweeted at me while he was watching and then ate a cracker. So that's right up my alley because I always have snacks around. So that was quite funny. We got quite a chuckle out of that. The other thing I want to talk about is that I always watch the last videos to see what have I missed. And I misspoke about living in Milwaukee or growing up there. I actually did not. I was born there. I lived there 2 years. And then my mom and dad moved to Cincinnati for a short time. So, but I love hearing the accents of Wisconsin people because we visited so often. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is the over one discussion that we had. And I felt like I needed to add more to this conversation. So one of the things that I wanted you to think about is make sure that you choose a fabric that has a sturdiness to it. I have done a lot of mine on 28 Cashel, and that's a very open weave. So I would encourage you to find a denser weave fabric like a Lugana, something like that to work on. It might make it a little easier for you. if this is your first time trying over one. I also said to you that I had a very good friend who is the master of stitching over one, and I neglected to mention her name, and her name is Maureen Sorensen, and her company is called The Heart's Content. Her designs are absolutely exquisite, and when I was setting up this video, I realized I had one right at hand here. This is one that she stitched and gave to me years and years ago, and if you study it, it is actually, the whole thing is completely stitched over one. Isn't it exquisite? Her work is so beautiful. So I guess someday I will master that too. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the fact that sometimes designers actually stitch other designers' work. And I know I do, but it's not very often because I'm so busy trying to get my own things done. But when the pandemic started, I felt lost. I don't know if you had that same feeling. You can only organize so many closets and clean so many cupboards, etc. And I just could not get myself to start designing for my own company. So I started stitching other people's work, and I got a lot of satisfaction out of that. Sorry, I had put these away and now I have to retrieve them here. Let me do this real quickly. So I actually stitched 3 different pieces during that first month when I was trying to figure out what to do next. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, but there is a promotion that many designers participated in called Be Well and Stitch. And we all designed something to give to you during this time that was a free file. And you can find mine actually on my website. It is a free PDF file. This particular one that I did first was from Needlework Press, and I just love it. It was stitched on a cream 32 count Belfast linen. I did change the colors a little bit, and it also had lettering on it, and I opted to leave the lettering off because I'm going to finish this into just a sweet little pillow. So that was one of the pieces I worked on. Then another one that I worked on was from a designer who has just darling things, and her name is Annie Beez, and I'm sure you've seen her work before. It's Annie, and then it's B-E-E-Z. And this, I think she released at the last market we attended. I forgot to look up the name of the design, so I will try to find that and put it in the notes below. You'll laugh. I did not do a very good job of centering this, did I? So see, we all make mistakes. This is a hand-dyed blue linen from Zweigart. I think it might be Blue Whisper. I'll double check on that, but I thought her design was so charming. So that was the second one that I worked on. And then the third one that I worked on was a Blackbird design, which is very appropriate this week. I'll talk about it in a minute. And I just love this piece. It is called Early Christmas Morning. I stitched it on a 32 count cream Belfast linen, and I'm going to make this into a pillow also for Christmas decor. So the book that comes from, which many of you are familiar with, is called Early Christmas Morning. It was actually finished into a pin box, but I think I'm going to do it as a pillow instead. I just think it's gorgeous. Blackbird Designs, I couldn't say enough good things about their company and the designs that they do, which are just exquisite. So that brings me to my next topic, which is such a sad one because Barb Adams, who was one of the 2 partners of Blackbird Designs, passed away on the 4th of July. And I think we were all just stunned because we did not know that she was sick. I did not know her well at all. I'd been introduced to her, but I did not know her as a friend. But we were all so saddened. Their work is just amazing, and most of you are familiar with it and have probably stitched them also. I have some cute stories to tell you about Blackbird Designs. There were two things that used to happen at market. The first day we opened, we were in an Embassy Suites hotel, and we took up 4 floors of the hotel, and so you could go out to the railing and see many of the other exhibitors that were in the hotel. Well, when we opened that first morning, we always say to ourselves, where is everybody? We knew there were lots of shop owners there. And then we go out and we look over the railing, and there's Blackbird Designs, and they have 50 people in line waiting to get into their room. That just tells you how wonderful everybody thought of their designs. The other funny thing is that I am friends with Linda and Alan Ebright from Lizzie Kate, and at the end of the show, she and I used to take an hour when things had finally slowed down, and we'd walk around and we'd visit other exhibitors. And our favorite room to visit was Blackbird Designs because their displays were so charming, and you can tell that from the covers of the book. So if you want to do something in memory of Barb, I went to her obituary page and found out that you could purchase a tree in her memory. And I love this idea because what I'm picturing is this beautiful forest that will honor her talent. So think about doing that. I picture it and I think it could be beautiful. The other person that I want to talk about today that I just found out this week who has also died is Marilyn Riedevalt with Stoney Creek Designs. And she too was a giant in our industry. Her company is Stoney Creek. She was a designer. She was a teacher. She had a store at one time. She put on a retail trade show. She was very, very talented. And I know her children and grandchildren must just be heartbroken. So let's buy a tree in memory of Marilyn too. So I want to return to some of the things that I talked about last week, and here's my very high-tech note. I talked about a shop nearby that is called Stitching Bits and Bobs. I wanted to give you their address and their phone number so that you could contact them. They have, not only do they have tons of fabrics and fibers, but patterns also. And Cam and Bobby are the names of the owners. I have another shop that I want to feature today too. I'm going to wait and do that at the end of this video. So I wanted to talk to you about what am I working on lately. And I have been busy as usual. I've got 4 designs finished, charted, etc., ready to go to the printer. I'm working on a 5th design because we have a wholesale show, virtual show at the end of August. So the timeline is coming up very quickly. I did want to show you, let's see, I'll show you this because I showed you part of it last week and told you that it was lacking a name. And so I looked over all the names that were suggested, and the one that I chose is Dashing Through the Snow. And I love that. I'm going to contact Barbara once the book is published and make sure to send her a copy of it. So this is actual, oh, let's see, what else am I working on? I guess I've told you everything of that. So I wanted to go ahead again this time and feature Christmas in July again. So I had shown you another one of the series, Dashing Through the Snow, last week. I think it was Tidings of Joy. So this week I discovered in my model pile the Joy Noel design, which is very similar. They're all have that same feeling. This is worked over 1 on a Witchelt 28 count Christmas red linen, but you could work it, of course, over 2. And let me show you, this is what the book looks like. And I want to show you, let's see, if you decide to, this is Old Christmas Tree, a different one, but if you decide to teach it over 2, stitch it over 2, this is what it might look like, and this was done with red on a white 32 count linen. So that gives you an idea of what that series is like. I did, when in my first video that is now thrown away. I did mention that you would really laugh at me if you could see me setting up for each video, because for some reason I have the desire to move things around each time and show you a different background. So today I moved my work table from my wall over there, over in front of my desk, hoping to get another view and hopefully good light. It's kind of a gloomy day, so I've got all kinds of lights on in here. So now what I want to talk about is some more of the little tiny ornaments that I started showing you last week. And try to be quiet with that. So as I mentioned, I have 3 different ornament collection books, and I thought I'd show you 3 more ornaments that came out of this booklet. So the first one I want to show you is a little rocking horse. And of course these could be worked over too also. This would be darling for a first baby gift. It would be really sweet. And then another design in that booklet has a very Scandinavian look to it with the little hearts on the tree. And the third design in that booklet I call Tree Within Trees, because if you study it closely, there are actually 4 trees that make up part of this design. So there's a little tree in the center, and then one, a border beyond that, and a border beyond that, and a tree for the base. So those all came out of the Collection 3 booklet. And then here are 3 more that came out of the Collection 2 booklet. And the beauty of these is I should open them up and kind of show you a page here without showing you. Let's see. I don't want to show you a chart, so what will I find here? Let's see. I'll just show you like this. The beauty of it is the booklets open up and lay flat, so you can easily work it in that manner. And on the back of the booklet, I always show them on a tiny little tree, which is what I use to display them on. So the 3 ornaments that come from that booklet are a little ice skate, which is, if you're familiar with my French country designs, this has that flavor because I've chosen all kinds of Christmas motifs to incorporate into that little ice skate design. Another one, which I may have shown you before, I'm not sure of, is the snow globe. If you see this in the original booklet that it was published in, it actually had a border around the outside edge. When I did the ornament, I eliminated the border. And you can see that too has that French country flavor with the reindeer and the trees, etc. And the third one would be very, very quick and easy to stitch, and that is this tiny little heart. So those are all from Collection 2 booklets. So let's set this aside. And if I look at everything on my desk, I realize I forgot to mention one thing about what I was working on these days. I'm always on the hunt for finishing items. And so I'll often go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something like that. And when I was there last week on the hunt, I actually found 4 different products that I thought had possibilities for my round designs. This was in the sewing department, and it's darling because of course it's a giant button, but I pictured that you could put one of my round designs on here and then hang something, pillows or something, below that might be a cute thing to do. So that is part of their Sewology collection. And then I picked up another box that I've actually used in one of the new ones that's coming out, and I've used this before. This is one of my favorite of their wooden boxes from Hobby Lobby. It's easy to paint. I use spray paint. I paint the edges and the inside, and then I paint the base here and of course the top, because in the design I usually put a little piece of fabric in here to go with the design. I'm not sure I did that on the first one. And then I always publish like an extra chart, and I put that as a surprise on the inside of the box, and then I put the design on the outside of the box. So if you're interested in knowing how to mount those, I'll tackle that finishing with you next week. So just make a comment about that. Then I also found another round box that has great possibilities. I see though that the little screw at the back has come out, so the lid is a little loose, but it is a box that you could store all kinds of little stitching accessories in. You could mount your design on the top. You could spray paint the edges. So that has great possibilities for my designs in the round. And then my fourth one is, actually, this is kind of odd, but you get two pieces. I tried to buy one. No, you have to buy two. But this one I think has possibilities if you're interested in painting. So what I pictured with this one is that you could paint all the holly and the berries and the bow, and then mount your round design over that, and it would be such a neat background. It would cover up the Merry Christmas, but that's okay. So those are some finishing ideas for your future projects. I have some more Christmas things to show you, and I'm trying to remember. Oh, I don't think I did this. I'm going to have to backtrack, see what happens when you make a mistake on your first video. So I neglected to mention when I was talking about the people who are helping me gain subscribers that I got two wonderful gifts last week. And one was from Artie from the Vintage Stitcher, and she sent a card, and she also sent a little gift of thread rings. So that was really appreciated and very sweet. I had sent her products. And then Annie from the Proper Stitcher did something that just stunned me because it was so unexpected and beautiful. And again, my high-tech pictures here. She sent me this bouquet. It's stunning. It was in a pink vase. It was roses and daisies, and you can see the little ribbon. I had it in my office all week. It just brought such joy. So what I'm discovering in our industry is that people are so generous and so kind. And so I'm trying to reciprocate and pass that kindness on by sending people who do not own a shop or who are not designers products that they can use for their giveaways. So we're all helping one another, aren't we? So my video today is a little disjointed, but that's okay. Hopefully you'll stick with me. The last Christmas design that I wanted to show you and was one that I published last year. This is called French Christmas Tags. There are 3 designs in this booklet. I worked them, yes, here's a picture here. I worked them over 2 and over 1. So the tags are actually from a company in France called the Bee Company. I am anxiously waiting for a package to come from them because I am out of these products and they're going to send me some new shapes for new designs. So I can't wait till that package gets here. So the designs, these are worked over 2 that were in that booklet, are the little Christmas house. And incidentally, when I send my charts to shops, I always include the charms. If the books are sent to distributors, they don't get the charms, and that's all because of the pricing arrangements. So another design in that booklet was the little door, welcoming Christmas door, and then the 3rd design in the booklet was love. And these designs, because they're vertical, would also fit on the sleds that I showed you last week. So I have, I have a cute story to tell you. One of the comments from last time was from a gal, and I should have written her name down, that told a story about being at a store in Williamsburg a couple years ago with her granddaughter. And the store, which I mentioned before, was called House Needleworks, which is no longer in business as a physical store. I think they might have a website. And her granddaughter looked at all the models. I used to send them tons of Christmas models in November and December. And her granddaughter, who I think was quite young at the time, went around the store and found two of my models that she absolutely loved. And she encouraged her grandmother to stitch them. So her grandmother has been working on them. And I thought, this design I'm going to show you is quite old, actually. But when I go to retail shows, and maybe you can confirm this in your comment, I find that my customers really don't care about when this was published, when the designs were published. They're just looking for designs that appeal to them, that speak to them, that they want to stitch. When I go to the wholesale markets, the shops generally, sometimes they'll buy some of the older designs, but generally what they want is just the new. So that is kind of encouraging to me, because I love the fact that when I do a retail show, people don't care about when it was published. So I want to show you a fairly large piece here, and I'm going to show you another one another week. And this is called Twas the Night Before Christmas. And I'll show you the books in a minute. There are 4 books, and each book has 3 designs in it. You could actually stitch them individually as ornaments, and I'll show you some of those when I put this down. Now what I did is I designed them individually, but then I designed a border to go around this whole piece, and also determined the spacing of how to put those blocks in this border. It is a PDF file that is free. So if you email me, Judy at JBW Designs, I'm happy to send you the PDF file that goes with Twas the Night, in case you are thinking of stitching it. So I'm going to set this down and then show you the books and the individual ornaments. So, of course, let's see. I only pulled out 4 little ornaments to show you. These were kind of my favorites. So the first book, Twas the Night, these were stitched so long ago that the linen that I stitched it on was a 29 count, which is no longer available. So if you did them on a 28, you'd be in good shape. Not much difference in size. So this comes from Twas the Night 1, and here is The Children Were Nestled. I did not do every line of Twas the Night. That would have driven me insane. I just chose 12 lines that kind of encapsulated the theme of the wonderful poem. So that's number 1. And these are stitched in quite a variety of fibers. In the booklet, it actually says Crescent Colors, which has since changed names. It's now Classic Color Works, but they still have the same names for their fibers. I also use some Weeks Dye Works, and there's always a conversion for DMC. So that's one of the designs. This is Twas the Night 2. So we have Away to the Window. I have to read it here. It Must Be St. Nick, and A Miniature Sleigh and 8 Tiny Reindeer. So that's number 2. And number 3 is, this one I love, has With a Sleigh Full of Toys, and I pulled this ornament out. It also has Down the Chimney, St. Nicholas, whoops, this is kind of awkward. Down the Chimney, St. Nicholas Came. And it also has In a Twinkling I Heard on the Roof. And then the 4th design is His Eyes How They Twinkled. He Filled All the Stockings, and I'll show you that design. And the last one was Happy Christmas to All. Now when I send these books to shops, every one of these charts has charms. So I'm going to encourage you to find a shop if you are interested in ordering, so that you would get the charms. So that's just a hint for you. I have a couple other things to tell you about. I have a wonderful shop, and Kathy is the owner. She opened her shop, it's Hobby House Needleworks in Pittsford, New York. She opened her shop in February of 2020. And think about this, everything closed down in March of 2020. I don't know how she kept it together, but she did. I think she's thriving now. I'll show you pictures of the shop. It's charming. It is, she said it's on a river. The outside of it is beautiful. The inside is beautiful. So I would love to have you support her if you could. You can see her email address. I think it's actually Kathy@hobbyhouseneedlework.com. And I always want to support my shops because they are what keep designers going, and I'm so appreciative of their business. So this is the outside of her shop. Isn't that beautiful? And then I'm going to set this down and this down. And she offers classes. I want you to see the inside. Look at this. Beautiful hardwood floors, hardwood in the ceiling. They must have done a tremendous amount of work to get this ready to open for business. And then look at this. You'll love this. Look at her fabrics on the wall. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm so happy to support her new shop, and I wish her the best because we want them to do well. So I have some giveaways for you. And last week I said if we reached 1,000, actually no matter what, I was going to give these away. So I used the random comment generator, which is the first time I've tried that. It works like a charm. And I have 3 winners to announce today. So my first winner is Elizabeth Smith, and it's spelled S-M-Y-T-H-E, and she is winning, let me take this off, she is winning all 4 of my new designs, which were I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. Oh, I pulled this incorrectly. I'll correct it. Christmas in the Round, that's fine if she wants it. Fall in the Round and Summer in the Round. I forgot to pull the correct ones. That's all right. And then our second winner, her name on the comment section was P Happy, H-A-P-Y, and she is winning the Christmas Ornament 2 book. And then our third winner is June Wood, W-O-O-D, and she is winning the Christmas 3 book. So I would like the winners to, a couple things. You have to be over 18, you have to be a subscriber, and if you would contact me through my email, judy@jbwdesigns.com, then I can get your address and send your prizes to you. So this week, what I'd like to give away is a set of the Twas the Night series, the French Country Tag book, and then I'll choose one of the red and white designs to give away also. So why don't you tell me about what fabric is your favorite to stitch on these days? I'd be very interested to hear what you all have to say. So this is my longest video ever. I hope I haven't bored you to death, but I just want to thank you again for coming. I'm on Instagram, it's judy.whitman. I also have a Friends of JBW Designs Facebook page, and I do a contest every 2 weeks. Check that out because people post pictures of things that I've designed, that they've been working on, and that's a fun thing to do too. So our plans for the next couple weeks, since we can't take a trip, is we've rented a little cottage on a lake about a half an hour from here. So you can picture me there stitching away and reading, and I'll be back here a lot because I still have a lot of work to do. So thank you again. You're the best, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.